sunshine, high 110. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we appreciate you also tuning in on our app. If you haven't gotten it already, it's a KMET 1490 AM, or on Facebook, just type it in. You'll find us, or myself at Aaron Michael Sanchez. Very simple. And we have Jesse Sanchez over there. Jesse is looking at some news. 7-Eleven, what's going on there?
Good morning. Yes, it happened 2 days ago, and there was like a massive 7-Eleven robbery. Six 7-Elevens were hit up and robbed at gunpoint. So it's kind of sad because it's just like it. It's a 7-Eleven, man. I mean, why would you rob a 7-Eleven?
Yeah. Yeah, look, I know my mom actually texted me this on Monday, and one of them was in our own area, and I was like, oh boy. And I was kind of wondering, what was going to happen from it. And then, there's so many, like, things, rewards that they kind of have, and there's actually a picture posted online of the man, because thankfully they have, cameras. But that doesn't stop people anymore, right? And the information I have, they hit a total of... How many do you have there, Jesse?
It says that they robbed six, and
Okay.
it was all within the early morning hours.
Yeah. So, and evidently, I guess the same people, right? They just have a bunch, right? I don't know how much they got from it. But the recent image of the suspect being shot, the robberies actually happened in Brea, La Habra, Santa Ana, Upland, and Riverside. So they traveled far, I mean, with gas what it is, I don't know what they made even. But the problem with that is they also killed a couple people along the way, right? So there's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not read the full article. I just read the headline. It says deadly. So yeah, I didn't even think about what they killed two people.
Yeah, that's
That's
information
yeah.
I
Were
have.
they were they employees or are they just people walking around?
Ooh, good question. According to this, they're alerting owners to take additional safety precautions. Officer Ryan Railsback, who's a spokesperson for the Riverside Police Department, which happens to be in our neck of the woods, says, I think the only person to answer that would be the suspect, which was regarding what they were kind of up to, right? The shootings did coincide with, well, you kind of pointed out, Jesse. Do you want to say that what date that coincided with?
Yeah. So it coincided with actually 7-Eleven Day where you get your free Slurpees. So I don't know if they just picked a random day or they just picked it because it sounded cool and it rhymed with 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's just like I remember this happened to a bunch of Hollywood videos back in the days. Um, what was it? There was like a string of robberies that were attacking Hollywood videos early in the morning.
Right.
They were getting them when they were doing their deposit deliveries. I got caught up in one of those, but it was just if I hate when they just target specific stores and they just go after them one after another. It upsets me.
Yeah, well, it's very much intent, right? And if they get this guy, which I think they will, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I would go with the cameras on the outside to see what their getaway vehicle is. Which is also why you want to update your camera system. Okay. I used to actually do CCTV cameras in businesses, and they would lease them at the time. And the reason we leased them at the time was because we would install them, and then we would service them. So all you needed to do was call, and then they'd go ahead and service them, and then also upgrade them every 3 years, right? And that was kind of necessary for the day and age that we live in. But at the time, we did it when it wasn't as common, and they were even more expensive. But they have outside housing ones, and usually if you're a big business, you get it. But anyway, I remember I went for training. They told us a lot of stuff about being safe and all that. But at this point in time, it's almost like every home needs one, right? I recently went looking for Ring devices and, even GoPros. And I'm like, okay, what will I use? Because sometimes there's a man in our area who's a little odd, and I've come across him a couple times. And then there's another guy that I'm kind of felt around the corner. I'm like, I wonder. So I'm like, you know what? Better safe than sorry, right? But I got a GoPro. I might take it back. I'm not sure because it's really good for surveillance, right? But they have a limited battery thing, right? And it's like, honestly, second by second. So it can record up to 5 hours, but it has like an hour battery life. So I'm like, okay. So unless you connect it to a power outlet, then it's good to go. Which is good for a wireless GoPro, which goes up to 4K, but I do 1080, right? And it's also good at night, right? Which is also good. But back to this, there's so many cameras around. There's also cameras like on people's cars, on their dash cams. So if you have footage of something, make sure to have that turned in. If you know of this and you were in the area or you saw it and you don't want to get involved, you can still help out along the way. Okay, this was really bad, by the way. And again, you're right. These are 24 hours, and this did happen in the early morning hours, Jesse. So you're right. They hit at a time where a lot of people are really not there, and so that was a bad thing, right? But they're still investigating, according to this information. So, but if you have information, try to turn it in, all right? And Crime Stoppers is one way you could do that. You can report information. You can even upload information, a photo and or like a link or something, and then kind of report it anonymously. Sometimes they offer, like a reward. Sometimes they don't. But it's better to get these people off the streets because when they shoot and kill somebody, in this one, let's see, in Brea, store clerk later identified as 40-year-old Matthew Hirsch was shot and killed in an armed robbery at the 7-Eleven on Lambert Road and North Brea Boulevard around 4:18 a.m. The male victim died at the scene. According to authorities, they believe, based on preliminary evidence, that the suspect involved in this shooting is linked to the incidents at the La Habra and Santa Ana 7-Eleven stores. In fact, there was a GoFundMe thing set up for him, which is really sad. And then another crime happened at 3:23 a.m. at the 7-Eleven store in Santa Ana. The man was found dead in the parking lot, suffering from a fatal gunshot wound to his upper torso. So I don't know if that was somebody that was just like coming in the middle of it and maybe try to stop the guy. The guy ended up shooting him. They're definitely armed, okay? So when I say be careful, I mean like be careful all the way, right? I remember we reported on the one that happened in my neck of the woods in Montebello, which, and we showed some of the video here, where the shooter was basically two guys that dogged each other, you know what I mean? But they weren't robbing the store, right? In this case, now people are robbing 7-Elevens. And the problem with this story isn't that we're sharing it, it's that it's getting out there and other people are going, I wonder, right? So now you're going to have a string of a lot of like wannabes, whether it was on 7-Eleven for a reason or not. You're going to have a lot of wannabes because just like the ones, remember the jewelry store heists, which were a bunch of people running in, taking their sledgehammers, and then like, you know what I mean? Like now how many of those have we seen?
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember when that first happened, we are like, wow, this is the first time I've ever seen something like that happen. And now it feels like we're getting one every 3 weeks.
Right? Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah,
It
I
really
saw
is.
one where they were doing it in broad daylight. I think in the area of LA, which I want to say either Bel Air or Rodeo. I'm not sure which one. And this lady or man took like the video of it, but she kind of trailed them, and then she went around the corner, and you could see the license plate of the vehicles getting away. Which, not gonna lie, I think one was a Mercedes Benz, and I'm like, awesome, you got the license plate. That's all they need, right? So if you can get license plate and stay away from them, do that, right? But people are starting to like have guns, and they go all the way through. The one who died, by the way. And some others actually are expected to survive. That's good news. Police have identified the man killed in the parking lot as 24-year-old Matthew Rule. That's sad, man. Imagine like you just want to go make a little run maybe for you or your lady, and then boom, right? It could be even for your kid, and then boom, you don't come home. That's sad, especially when you just go to 7-Eleven. I know because when my mom was like, "Don't go to 7-Eleven," I'm like, "What?" Like, I have no problem going anywhere, right? Because I've been through the thick of it. But at the end of it, I was like, oh, I get it. Okay. So always watch your six, okay? This did happen. Let's see. Two victims were identified as a long-time well-liked clerk at the 7-Eleven as well as a customer. Thankfully, according to this, at least as of now, because this could change, you never know, in the La Habra, they're expected to live. That's what it says here. But it says here in the incident, an employee and a man sitting in his car outside the store were shot. Both were taken to the hospital and are expected to survive. That's what officials said. Let's see. They said that cash register was found apparently on the floor of the convenience store. Okay, so they raided it, did all that, and then they wear their face mask, just like a mask. But so they're basically saying if you have information, report it. All of these are in different areas, so they're all kind of handling it differently. The one, if you have any information though of La Habra or any other area, I would call this anyway, and then report 562-383-4300. 562-383-4300. Report that, and then they'll have information there. If you have any information, or if you know somebody who's kind of like, yeah, whatever, that could be your family member, And I hate to say it because I feel like people don't even listen to that anymore. But, there's nothing good when somebody is willing to, look, I get people. You ever see Free Guy? You remember that? With
Yes,
Ryan Reynolds?
Remember that movie?
Yeah. That movie, by the way, I have to preface the one I was talking about yesterday. Malkovich and Clint Eastwood. That's what I was talking about on yesterday's show that I could not remember. Some people have plastic guns. Remember that report remember the Japan prime minister getting shot with a homemade pistol? So finally I remembered. Nobody remembered for me. That's fine because you didn't know. But John Malkovich played the bad guy and Clint Eastwood played the... what is that protects the president? Oh, Secret Service agent, right? And he finally gets him, but he sneaks in the gun, and it's a plastic gun, and then that's what happened. Anyway, that was a report yesterday. So anyway, back to guns, okay? Evidently, you don't even need to, own a real bona fide gun. You can make guns, you know what I mean? But back to this story. So, I guess it's one of those. Well, anyway, you guys weigh in on this, okay? We want to hear what you got to say on this. We know a lot of you have 7-Elevens in your own neck of the woods. They're pretty everywhere. And this is going to be a problem, I think, for another few weeks because there is monkey see, monkey do people, So if you go to 7-Eleven, and I know you do, make sure to be aware. And this could happen at any place. But, back to Free Guy. So in Free Guy, he's again, remember, it's not a spoiler, but they keep holding up the bank that he works at, right? And then he gets on the floor. They're just okay, whatever. Get on the floor. Okay, that's my point. Get on the floor of these things because they're becoming too common. Okay, just hit the floor. Okay. Rarely will they give you a kill shot if they're shooting high. Hit the floor. Okay, crouch if you need to, but hit the floor. All right. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. That's what we've seen people that survive do. They just hit the floor. Right. And try to get behind something, right? People think, I'm going to get behind and I'm going to throw things at them. Don't do that. They'll just shoot. Okay, don't do that because you rarely get those are in the movies usually, because you're so nervous. Just hit the floor. Better to hit the floor. Be alive. Let them go. They're for the cash. Okay, usually. And if they have a gun, unless you have a gun, just let them go. It's not worth it. Right, Jesse? Would you agree or disagree?
I agree, and if they point the gun at me, I will scream like a girl and do my best to make them laugh or pee their pants. That is my goal.
I've thought that, and I will tell you, it did not work. So, but I'm alive, so there you go. All right, people, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. The current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
Out the door, in the car, off to work. The same old morning routine. Take a break and stop for hot coffee or a latte and a fresh homemade cinnamon roll or chocolate cream puff. Donut Delight on Highland Springs Road in Banning is a locally owned family business with a friendly staff and customers who are always glad to see you. Get your morning off to a great start at Donut Delight on the corner of Highland Springs Road and Ramsey Street right off the I-10 freeway. Serving the Pass area for 22 years. Donut Delight is open at 4:30 a.m. daily.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just go to 12ignoremyscore.com right now. That's www.12ignoremyscore.com. Auto financing the easy way. 12ignoremyscore.com. Get started today. Auto financing the easy way.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
When you want the best performance for your vehicle, think only of Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, right off the I-10 and 60 freeways. Check out Scott's complete list of performance products on their website at hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers can recommend ways for your car or truck to get better gas mileage and cut down on emissions. Need your car or truck to pass smog only? Go to Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont. Find out all of your questions on vehicle performance by logging on to hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont. hdrinfo.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I know, Jesse, there's some news I think you'd be excited about. The James Webb, right? Saw some pretty interesting things. In fact, even Biden talked about it, which I think we're ahead of some pretty cool stuff happening, which I said literally, I said, look, there's going to be so much coming out in the next few years. I think we're going to see something that we've always wanted to see, but we never knew we'd be all right saying. And I think it started with the Pentagon saying, look, there are unidentified things in the air. We need to identify them. We need to make sense of it because we're not ahead of it. Right? And then sometimes they kind of like double back. They say, they're flares. I'm like, dude, you just announced that like we had 400 some different things happen, right? So I say this, if you're holding on to footage that you haven't released, release it, because I guarantee they're going to want to research it, okay? And I've been seeing a lot of stuff. Sometimes I follow people on Twitter, they tweet it, you know, and they've been kind of made to look dumb sometimes, and I go, don't buy into that. And then, you know, and then this came out, so I'm like, yay. So the James Webb saw something that was pretty cool, and it was more of basically the universe, but other galaxies. Now, there's a cluster of galaxies that it saw. And this is the picture of it. Check it out. And I will say this, Jesse. When you see that picture, what does it make you think?
Oh my God, we are so tiny. That's what I'm thinking. Oh my God, that wow, that is so beautiful. It almost seems fake.
It does, right?
I don't know what else to say. It looks absolutely amazing, and there are times where I can't even fathom this image.
Yeah, well, it's amazing, and I tell them, you know, I have conversations with my mom, which my mom, you know, I found out something, and it asks your parents, you know, what's their favorite planet, right? Sometimes you'll find some things out. I didn't know her favorite planet was Saturn, to be honest. And I said, okay, let's have some theory. And I said this. I said, okay, you know how old the Earth is somewhat, right? And she said, no, not really. I said, okay. I said, no one really knows. I have all these guesstimates, right? Now, imagine. Let's say you believe, what people believe always about God created the Earth, right? And she says, yeah, of course. I said, okay, imagine just for a minute, how old is our galaxy? She goes, huh. I said, now, was our galaxy before the Earth or was it after? And it would stand to reason, Jesse, right? It's before, right?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay. So looking at this picture, when you look at this picture and you go, okay, how far away does the new, I don't even know what to call it other than the James Webb, what would you call it? Because I don't want to call it a telescope anymore. It's so much like,
James Webb peeping scope? I don't know. It seems more than a telescope because it does so much more.
Yeah, it's so far. And I would say this to people, whether you like sci-fi or not, it sees so far and so clear that you get almost like as though they're close. These cluster of galaxies is what they're calling them, okay? And let me read it word for word, then I'll kind of make sense of it. NASA's newest image from the Webb telescope shows Stevens Quintet. And the reason I don't like calling it a telescope, Jesse, is it's so much more than that because it's digital enhanced, right? And then the lens is super enhanced. Like think 4K times a bah, like a, you know what I mean? And then just know that it's so advanced. It sees so clear. It looks like fake. Like they put it in like a program of like Photoshop and just made it, right? But there's something very interesting about this cluster that they kind of see. But let me read it word for word. It shows Stevens Quintet, a group of 5 galaxies located, get this, and I know nobody understands this, 290 million light years away. All right? Now, you're thinking, how long does it take to get there? Because you think of a light year, how far is that? And then 290 million, how far is that? And then you go, okay, I think I don't even know what that is. Like, does that make sense? And I would say this, if you travel in this space shuttle, and this is a guesstimate, don't quote me, okay? Day for day, minute by minute, it would take over 1 trillion years times whoa.
Yeah, I can't even fathom it. I'm just looking at these pictures. It's kind of crazy because if you can imagine, maybe there's someone, in their own little world looking up and you know what? They're wondering if we're doing the same thing too.
Yeah, the possibility, right? Now, it's very interesting. This particular picture, and if you're listening on the radio, we appreciate you because the cool thing about what we do is different than what we do on digital, okay? Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, where else do we stream? YouTube. All that could go away and nobody would know we exist, Jesse. Do you know that?
Oh yes, yes, I know. Like we're literally just like if you think about it, we're just a little speck of dust in this giant universe.
Yeah, but radio waves, they travel no matter what. Our radio waves, the antenna that's kind of in the area of Jesse, the one that we kind of throw out to, can actually now let's say, Jesse, I said, look, and Jesse, I don't know if you like space or hate it, but let's just say I said, look, you get a way to go at least a light year away, okay? How long would it take for my broadcast, because I'm here at home, I don't go in a space shuttle to get there, you do, I send you. How long does it take you, just look it up, you can tell. How long does it take you to get that radio signal eventually?
Reach the signal where?
To you when you travel a light year away. Radio wave.
I'm guessing 100 years.
Okay, that's not a bad guess. Guys, put it in social media. What do you think it is? What is it for you? All right. My estimate is about 8 billion years. A light year is, whoa. Okay? Now, the good thing about radio waves is they continue. They spread out. Okay, you know that little like icon you go, doo-doo-doo-doo, and it keeps going. Radio waves, okay? They keep going. Now, the good thing about radio waves is that, let's say you meet a Martian along the way, right? Or alien, whatever you want to call him. What would you call him? What would be the name you'd call him?
If I encounter an alien that I don't know their species,
Yeah,
species Bob.
Bob. Okay, all right. Let's say Bob says to you, what? What do you say?
I said it's easy. I don't know. I like it.
Okay, so you say, okay, all right. So Bob's like, okay, you are human, yay, right? And you're like, hey, by the way, I'm on a show. He goes, can I watch? What would you say?
Sure, go ahead.
Right, and now if he had the ability to tune his device to a radio wave, and then he heard your voice, would you say wait or not wait?
Ooh, I'll say not wait.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because you got to get it at the right time, right? Once it's there, it's gone. No, it's always there. It's called frequency. But technically, it has to be at the same time. But radio waves, airwaves, frequency gets thrown out. Now, when we used to use the old antennas, they have the little satellites, right? Right? But radio waves and airwaves, or basically radio waves, which are the oldest type of wave, right, travels, and that's why we are looking for radio waves from others as well. Now, there's radiation waves, there's gamma rays, there's all kinds of rays, right? But radio waves actually travel no matter what. So a broadcast would actually be broadcast in about, well, in guesstimates, 1 billion years. And then you'd say to the alien, tell them to tune to this particular frequency, this number, this time, by this guesstimate, they'll eventually hear my voice. You get it?
I gotcha. It
Okay.
reminds me of Futurama, how the radio waves or television signals went out over 1,000 years later. The aliens 1,000 light years away ended up getting it.
Yes. Okay. Some guesstimate, right, or estimate that like Lucy, when it was first broadcast, could be seen by aliens everywhere, right? And would they be fans of it? I think yes. They'd be like, this is so funny, right? Now they see all
I
this,
would hope so.
right?
I would hope so.
Yeah. Now they see stuff and they'd be like, oh my God, they're destroying each other, right? Because they're advanced, man, right? Okay, now back to this cluster, okay? The reason I'm excited about this, I think people are excited, they don't even know why they're excited, is this. This cluster has potential for life. Now, of these three, Jesse, which looks like ours?
I want to say the top one, actually.
Okay, I would
Oh,
say the left
wait.
one.
Okay, yeah, okay. That one or the top one, I don't know.
It's okay, they're all different, by the way. Now, the bottom right one is a problem, by the way. Okay, the bottom right one has two that circle around each other. So the question is, will they collide, will they come together, or will they expand, right? It depends on the gravitational force of both of them. But what they're seeing of these two on the bottom right of your screen, and again, if you're listening on the radio, you can't see it, just find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube, and our LinkedIn. But that one is a problem for the other two. They're so close together, okay? Now, depth is not what we see. So we don't know which one, they look so close together. It looks like they're, basically side by side. But again, we don't have depth yet, right? Now you can guesstimate by setting a laser to guesstimate, but by the time it gets there, it will get there probably in about, at the distance that it is, well, let me go back to this. These are 290 million light years away. Okay, Jesse? If it takes you 1 billion years to get to, you get it? 1 light year, how long does it take to travel that in a space shuttle that travels at that speed of normalcy, called non-light year, non-warp drive, anything that sci-fi gives us? Do you understand why it's important to go fast in space?
That is true, because it would probably take around 20,000 plus years just to reach 1 light year or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. So my
Yeah,
point is
so.
this. The cool thing about this image is this. How many of them can have life? I say, honestly, all three. But the one on the left looks like ours. Now, if they were looking at us with their own advanced, what would they think about us, Jesse?
Right? I keep thinking that they're gonna be looking and then they're gonna end up finding a satellite or a telescope like ours. They're all like, "Whoa, okay, we're looking at somebody that's looking at us."
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
the question is, are they friendly or are they gonna take our natural resources?
Well, and that's the thing. With all these planets, well, could you mine other planets? The answer is yes. All right, we don't think about our current planet situation. Musk is somewhat thinking about it. He's thinking about Twitter more. Like, does he back out a deal? Does he go forward? They're suing him because, But we know about SpaceX, right? Now we know this. The agency, which I would say watch very closely, okay? Trump kind of trumpeted it. I say they stole the insignia of Star Trek. Duh. You can see that right there. It's called Space Force, right? But there's actual real military investing in this, okay? So they're going space, right? Okay. So I predict probably in about 100 years, we're going to be in outer space with military, right? Why? I do not know, other than to control Earth or to go outward. But back to Musk. Musk has the ability with his like refuelable rockets that land, right? They don't like, how they discard them usually? They basically like discard them and then they bring them back, right? So they can refuel them, right? Which is smart. So they have made it so that they can land on their own independently, right? Which is very smart. Now, in order to get to Mars, it takes some time, right? But if they mine for certain things on Mars and bring it back, would they be rich? I say yes. If they look at the minerals of Mars, we could bring a lot of stuff back to the Earth and be rich. Because there's a lot of, well, let's put it this way. There are so many ingredients on this Earth that we have that we're mining left and right. But there's ingredients on Mars. Why not mine it? Right? What do you think?
Right? I can just think Mars mining. Wait, didn't they do this in a movie? Oh, it did not end well.
It never ends well because it never prepare. But there's ways to prepare. Watch the movies and then don't do that because those are theories, right? But the answer is I completely 100% believe. Don't go to the moon. Okay, the moon is kind of like we get it. All right, you're not going to mine the moon. That helps us with our gravitational waves. It helps with a lot of things. Okay, but mine Mars. Go to Mars and mine that. Right? You just set up like several missions. Not all at once. There's a movie called The Martian, right, where it didn't go well. But you need to have constant back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? But don't terraform that. Bring back minerals. Okay, they already know kind of what minerals are there because they have the rovers there, right? They set them there, and then they kind of like, and they have a little onboard computer go, high end certain minerals, iron. Okay, there's a lot of iron there. There's a reason it's red. Okay, with red, you get a lot of good soil. You just got to hydrate it. That's why they think they could terraform it. But if you bring it back and you put it in certain desert areas, we can actually grow a lot more than we ever used to because it does good in harsh environments. Imagine if we invested in that. Now imagine if there was gold in that. Imagine if there was minerals like copper, right? Now you just pay for your mission. Guaranteed. You get that, you mine that, boom. There was a movie and you saw it, Don't Look Up, and they wanted to mine the asteroid. Don't mine an asteroid, that's dumb. Right? Do you remember that?
Yes, yes. That was one of the dumbest things in the world. I'm like, yeah, no, no. It was the whole thing was just stupid, and yeah, don't mine a asteroid that's coming to Earth.
And as some people would say that have seen it, wait to the end to see the result. Okay, you got to see it all the way through. Okay, don't get bored in the middle. Watch it all the way to see if it was a good idea. It's just yeah. Okay, now having said that, if they mine Mars, we are going to be rich for years to come. Okay, And I feel, and I predict this, okay? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. There are certain minerals there that would help us travel light speed, just so you know, that we don't have here on Earth. Now, if you watch certain movies, they give you a clue. And it always starts with a D. Delirium. Or what do they call it? What do they call it? There was like, oh, it's delirium crystals or something like that, right? It's in the caverns. There's things in the caverns. When you get them to react with other minerals, there's your answer. Now, to the aliens out there, you want to help us? We'll do a treaty with Mars, okay? We own it because it's in our neck of the woods. But we'll help you mine so you help us get to where you're at and you help us where we're at. Now, if you do that, I guarantee you'll be ahead. What do you think, Jesse? Good idea, bad idea?
No, that sounds like a good idea. I'm just reading on like rare earth elements on what's extremely difficult to mine here that we have a limited supply.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's my point. We have a limited supply. But Mars is look, you're not going to inhabit Mars. I guarantee you there's no Martians on Mars. Was it at one time? I believe yes. Okay, I believe because it's closest to the sun, which is why I'm like, why would you send people there to live there? It got close to the sun, whatever. It probably had water at some point. But back to how long our solar galaxy has been alive. If you look at that image and you look at all the other images that they have, and they got a few, okay? They have one which is actually just the edge of a nebula. It shows hundreds of stars, never seen before within the cloud. That's how good this scope is. Because of the massive amounts of dust and gas that exist within the nebula, the stars were not visible to the human eye. The area referred to as the cosmic cliffs. So it's a giant gaseous, well, I shouldn't say gaseous. Gaseous cavity sounds gaseous. Don't let the gas out of you. And it says, as young stars that were recently born push down ultraviolet radiation and create the jagged-looking edge. Now, this is one of those that will be like an image everybody's going to want to see for years to come. Okay, it is so impressive that, again, Biden was like, dude, check this out, right? Now, some people go, well, why are we doing that again? You know, and I say, you know what, why not? We've been getting some pretty interesting radio waves and other waves here on Earth that they've been reporting on. And sometimes you hear it and sometimes you don't. But I say this, where are they coming from, right? So are we ahead of it? I say yes. I think government knows. I think Pentagon knows. And they're trying to make us aware. But other ones are like, no, don't let that out. I'm like, man, you are dumb. Don't live in the 50s. Live in the, what are we in? The 20s? We need something to strive for, man. We got proximity, right? But look at that image, Jesse. That image right there on the screen is pretty amazing, don't you think? Like, look at all the stars. Look how clear it is. And look how they just sparkle. Isn't it neat?
It really is neat. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, like I said, I can just like picture myself floating through space and just looking at these things.
Yeah.
And just being awe-inspiring. That's just like, these are things that honestly we were never meant to see.
Yeah, and I say, well, I wouldn't say never meant to see, just we couldn't see them, right? We have gotten our brains smart enough.
Not meant.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got our brains smart.
We're not.
Yeah, we got our brains smart enough to be able to basically, like, okay, how can we see beyond, right? And some people go, well, what does that mean? I go, look, at the end of the day, you know what's coming, because then you can see asteroid coming at you, right? So that's good. You just point in a direction, take a snapshot, boom, beam it directly to us, boom, we can see, you know, it's hiding behind, you know, maybe a planet, right? But yeah, it's pretty exciting. One of the first images revealed during a televised broadcast from the Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, shows a graph of the atmospheric composition of WASP 96b, the largest planet outside of our solar system. You ever wonder what we're like if there's alien life somewhere, like what we're, you know, our solar system is to them? I mean, we know we live in the Milky Way galaxy, right? They have the Andromeda galaxy. They got, you know, all the things that we've named. What are we to them? Isn't that weird? Nobody thinks about that. I don't know. Anyway, that's my idea. I'm sticking to it.
Right? It's just like, what would aliens or another species call our planet? I doubt they call it Earth. They'll probably call it that backwater planet that the people like to fight each other.
Well, backwater planet. I think. Look. Even if you, okay, there are some people like, they're all Bible, right? They're all the book, right? And they're like, no, aliens are not in the Bible. I go, just check, just wait. If you believe in angel, and many do, then you believe in this. What would angel call it, right? And if angel were going to save anyone, would they save us? Or would they save another galaxy? Or would they save only us? Or are they apportioned to save us eventually? Or are they saving us now? Because I think, we need support, right? What would angel call us if they were on Andromeda galaxy helping 3 planets? What would they do for our galaxy, Jesse?
Good question. I have no idea. Honestly, I felt like they should abduct the war leaders, get a spray bottle, and be like, no.
Spray bottle that. All right. Anyway, it's theory. Look, it's theory. But I say this: if you believe in angel, that's a form of alien. I think if they were able to kind of go back and forth with wings, right? A, how do they hold their breath? And B, back to the telescope. What can we see if we broaden the light from ultraviolet light to ultraspectrum, right? And there's so many colors and things that if you invert the images, what would you see? Some people have done this. They've increased the gamma, and they've increased the contrast, and they've increased things that go, whoa, I didn't see that before. One lady did that. She's very smart. And I say, if you do that, take those photos, don't add saturation, but invert the colors. Do that one that makes your teeth look green, like the X-ray one, and see what you see. Okay, I might even do that. Just take it, download, and see what you see when you invert the colors, okay? I may do it just for the fun of it. All right, people, we got to take a quick little break. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Hello, listeners. This is Christopher from The Christopher Show. Hey, if you missed one of our shows here at KMET, don't worry about it. You can go to our webpage, and that's KMET1490am.com. Go to the homepage, click on the SoundCloud tab, and hear any show anytime you want.
Does shame, guilt, and martyrdom play a part in holding ourselves back from self-love, self-confidence, self-empowerment? Ambika Waters is back. With over 3 million books sold, she offers her 28th, Releasing Shame, Guilt, and Martyrdom. Her body of work includes training programs held in Europe and North America, where she connects her participants to the realms of angels, the importance of chakras, the healing power of color and sound. Ambika Waters, the journey that she has been on, the renowned teacher, artist, and healer, has brought a lifetime of experience to her newest book, Releasing Shame, Guilt, and Martyrdom. How to reframe the past, release your future, the guide for unlimited goodness. AmbikaWaters.com, Amazon.com. Love, love, love.
Your pharmacy and mobility solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
For all you truck and RV enthusiasts, TruckWorks right here in Banning is your one-stop shop for the best diesel performance and overall truck and RV needs. Whether you're towing, racing, off-road, or just cruising around town, TruckWorks specializes in truck and RV service, maintenance, repair, and performance upgrades for every light and medium-duty truck manufacturer. Bring it down to Terry and the guys at TruckWorks. Call 951-922-4776 or visit their website at mydieseldown.com today.
Join West Coast Business Review with Daryl McCants each Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock p.m. Daryl focuses on successful businesses from California's southern border to Canada, including the great border states of Arizona and Nevada. Every week, Daryl provides in depth discussions and interviews with prominent leaders and innovators that makes all of our lives better and more productive. West Coast Business Review with Daryl McCants, Wednesdays at 4 o'clock p.m., right here on Smart Talk Radio.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you spending time with us. I don't know what to report, Jesse. I'm not going to lie. It seems like a day of like weird every single day. I saw the surprise. I said, no, it can't be real. It's probably one of those like fake ones. You know, whenever they get like a alert system and then they're like, oh, we're so sorry. We didn't mean that alert system. And you're like, are you testing the alert system for a reason? Recently, this happened. This is happening in New York, by the way. And I'm not sure how you would feel about this, Jesse. What do we need to know that we don't know? New York City residents are accustomed to warnings about all kinds of threats, right? Severe weather, public health, mass shootings. Well, a new PSA on surviving in nuclear tech has rattled some cages. Released this week, the city's emergency, yeah, that face, hold that face. Released this week by the city's emergency management agency, the 90-second video, wow, they put a lot of time into this, advises citizens to stay indoors and wash off any radioactive dust or ash. It opens on a computer-generated street devoid of life. Oh, God, there's something they're not telling us. Damaged skyscrapers can be seen in the background. Oh, boy, Jesse, what are they prepared for?
Hold on. I'm watching the PSA right now. Is there anything else that happened?
I don't know. I haven't seen this. Let me know what you see. Looking into the camera, a spokesperson says, what? Go ahead.
No. I'm watching it right now. You can go ahead and talk.
Yeah. Looking into the camera, a spokesperson says, so there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why. Just know that the big one has hit. Then you, as a New Yorker, are left asking, why now? Christina Farrell, the city's emergency management deputy commissioner, said the video isn't tied to any specific threat. Yeah, that's how it started for the Kennedy administration. They were like, duck, cover. Right? I'm like, how does that help in a nuclear? Yeah. She said it's about raising awareness. So something most people have not given much thought. I'm not going to lie. I have given my mom plenty of thought. I told her, watch this. This is what fallout is, okay? This is what happens in the event of this, okay? Because of Russia has threatened nuclear. Has he not? I theorize this. They're going on the Russia thing. They're saying, you know what? Let's get people prepared just in case. They're ahead on this. Warning people, getting in the hands, and having them at least ask this question, what is it about Russia that we should be scared of? If Russia bombs us, A, will they bomb us in the east, the west, or where, Jesse?
Probably major cities.
Yeah. I theorize this. Yep. They don't hit New York. They hit San Francisco, Jesse.
I would probably hit every major metropolitan city. So it'd be Miami, San Francisco, LA, Seattle, New York, and Chicago.
I'm glad you left LA. Wait, oh, wait, no, LA's here? Oh, not Louisiana? Oh, God, Jesse, no. We live here, Jesse. You know, I'm moving in with you, man. Okay, so look, my point is this, man. This is a PSA in New York. What did you hear in LA? Okay, anyway, my point is this. Farrell told the Associated Press yesterday, there's no overreaching reason why this is the time we sent this out. It's just one tool in the toolbox to be prepared in the 21st century. Jesse, this spells doom. I guarantee it. She said the agency's goal is to empower people regarding a scary subject, and despite the mixed reactions to the video, people have thanked us that we are approaching this topic. I will thank them for approaching the topic. It's better to know what fallout is, because I'm going to tell you right now. I kind of queried a few kids under 8. They're like, huh? They were unconcerned about Russia's war, right? They were like, whatever. And some adults, I was like, you know, it's a thing, right? They go, whatever. I'm like, when he threatens nuclear, and Putin has threatened nuclear on more than one occasion, right? They're the ones that go and bomb nuclear power. Why would you do that? You don't want it to explode. What's wrong with you? Even the army men were like living there. Like, they're going to get fallout. They're going to get radiation. That's why I showed my mom, this is how dumb they are, okay? And then they got sick. They're like, okay, we're pulling back because they got radiation sickness. Guaranteed they're going to die within the next few years. Guaranteed. Hair is going to fall out. Teeth are going to fall out. Oh, it's nasty, okay? So New York has a PSA, public service announcement, 90-second, that's a long one, about this. She added, I don't know if there's ever the perfect moment to talk about nuclear preparedness. There isn't. Saying city officials have discussed implementing nuclear guidelines for quite some time. New York's emergency response program, Ready New York, has been around since 2003. Again, I don't know what you do in New York when you're ready. Mayor Eric Adams has said he doesn't believe the video was alarmist, telling reporters Tuesday, he says, I'm a big believer in it's better safe than sorry. And I say, you know what? Yes. At least be aware it's there. And that's what you should get when you get threatened by Putin. But will this get here? Probably not. I think they're going to squash it. But anyway, I think it was interesting. What do you think, Jesse?
I have no idea, but I did watch the PSA. If you're in a major city, you do not want to stay inside. You want to get away from the blast, because then you want to get away from that fallout.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the concept of, yeah, if you're in a major city, you do not want to stay there. That's like death central.
No, you want to go away from the cloud, actually. What you want to do is figure out the wind direction, go away from the cloud, and then get away from it, because it's the cloud that actually creates the problem eventually. The initial blast is a problem, but the fallout is a problem if you survive within 3 days. So you want to get out of Dodge. You do not want to stay in the area. Okay, I'm just going to say that if that ever happened. I don't know what they say in the PSA, but that's the information from some very smart people that know about nuclear. Okay, I talked to some people. People go, how do you know these people? I go, well, we have a show, so people tell me stuff. What were you going to say, Jesse?
The PSA has 3 steps for the 3 outline steps. The first one is get inside fast, get into a building, and move away from the windows. If you see the flash, you're pretty much already done. True. Actually, you're right about that. I would do this or say this, okay? Because there's missile, right? It may not be nuclear, but I would say this: get behind something sturdy, and if you're near a boulder, get behind that. Boulders do not move when it comes to that. If you're under an overpass, be careful, because it could kind of cause a problem, like a shaft opening, right? People don't know that. Try to get on the opposite side of what you see a missile of, okay? If you're behind a vehicle, don't, because those things flip over in a nuclear blast, okay? If you're in a home, I don't know what to do. If you're behind a home, I'd be on the opposite side of it, try to survive the blast. But there's going to be a shockwave that's going to hurt you along the way. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to stay on for a little bit more of advice on this and other subjects here on The Maury Show. Stay tuned for more right after these messages at KBT 1490 AM. Follow me on Aaron M. Sanchez on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and Twitter. Jesse, make it a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same channel. Bye-bye, everyone. All right, people, I gotta say just for a bit, all right, I thought I was gonna get off with this, but here it is, okay? When there is a PSA on nuclear, there is something they're not telling you, okay? I'm just gonna say that right now. When they say alarmist, I say this: better to be alarming than be dead, okay? Now, there's advice, God forbid it never happens, but I love watching survivor stories, okay? I used to watch a show where they actually show you like what berries to eat, what things to do, worst case scenario. There's a bunch of these, okay? And they were all in Discovery, all right? I say they should bring them back, right? It gets your mind to think, what would happen in a disaster? Now, we live in earthquake central over here in LA, okay? We all know it. San Francisco, pretty much the same. Okay, so we know in the event of an earthquake, we know what to do. PSA is, well, let's put it this way. There's a reason, okay? And I say this, I'm glad they're doing it because, again, some people don't understand. When people claim nuclear and they do it, well, let's put it this way. Some people have not believed Putin when he says it, including myself. I'm not going to lie, okay? Because I'm like, I don't think he'd do it. All right, but if he did, would we be prepared? And I say this, flee, okay? Communications will be down. Transportation will be weird. All kinds of things would be weird. Okay, there's a couple of movies on the subject where it happens. You probably may have seen a couple of them. They're very interesting. But there's truth to them. Okay, if you ever watched a show called Jericho, okay, in that, and I haven't seen it all the way through, there's a nuclear bomb that goes off, right? And he's not wrong. But here's the thing: usually it hits the epicenter, and he's not wrong. It's usually a city. But when it hits a city, there's a blast that goes out, right? But if you're in the outskirts of that blast,
you're going to be okay, but you want to go in the opposite direction of the cloud. Because it's the cloud cover that if you know where the wind is going, you want to go the opposite, okay? That's number one. Number two, what you want to know is, let's put it this way. Okay, I don't know how to say this. One time I had my mom actually check out Jericho, and I said, look, don't do what dumb people do, okay? Sometimes there's people that go, no, I want to do this, and then they get dead, right? Because usually people kind of group up together. I say don't group up together, group up with your family first, get everybody together, and then head in the direction where the cloud is not going to go. That's number one. You want to do it as soon as possible. You don't want to wait, okay? Emergency and all that, everybody's going to be like, right, to the epicenter, number one. You want to go where the cloud isn't going, okay? I already have my plans. I already told my mom. If that ever happened, we would go where the cloud isn't, all right? Now, usually, if it were to hit LA here, it would go probably south-ish, sometimes west-ish, and sometimes east-ish, right? Depending on where the clouds go. And the way you can tell is just look at the clouds. Don't do this because it's kind of, sometimes you can get grass and then drift it. But kind of look at the clouds. Go, okay, and study them for a good, I would say 3 minutes. Anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes, okay? You follow them, you follow them, you go, okay. All right, if they go in this direction, you go, we're going in that direction, okay? That's where you go. And you stay there for a good week, all right? You let the fall just do its thing. Because what happens, especially if there's rain, right? That comes down, that hurts you eventually. That's radiation on your body, okay? Now, bombs are worse than they were in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, okay? They're very, very, very deadly, okay? And they're so deadly, they will kill you eventually if the blast didn't kill you. Like you said, he's thinking of the incineration part. The incineration happens in the epicenter and around, right? It depends on the blast, but they said nuclear. Now, nuclear bombs are not as what they were before. If they use an old one, then we're all dead. But they usually use ones that are very, to the epicenter and then miles beyond, right? They're not what they used to be, all right? But, again, it depends on who detonates the bomb and who sends it, right? Because sometimes they're detonated, right? So, New York is usually hit because A, it's an epicenter of every movie you've ever seen, and B, it is populated densely. Okay, there's a lot of buildings there. So when they say get in, once once it happened, look, I'll put this out there. Okay, 9/11. All right, was anybody ahead of that? Did we ever think that was going to be a thing? No. Was there ever a warning about that? What would happen if something hit a building? No. Right? It happened. You react. Period. End of story. Right? People did the right thing. They got out of those buildings. And then those that, couldn't get out. I mean, again, you take the stairs. You don't take the elevator, right? You take the stairs. But people got out, right? Not all got out, obviously. And then they didn't see it collapsing. That was like a whole other thing. But New York is not a stranger to threat or danger, right? So, how do I say this? I'm glad they're prepared. But back to 9/11. Were we prepared for that? No. All right? Now, again, those were planes hitting buildings. But could a missile hit a building? The answer is yes. There's dirty bombs that go off in New York. There's problems with just all kinds of things, okay? And Homeland Security, honestly, are always, how do I put it this way? They're very, very present, okay? They've been present here in LA several times. In New York, they're very present. In Florida, not so much. In San Francisco, somewhat. But it's usually LA and or New York. Those are the two concerns, okay? If we see a PSA here, I guarantee you there's information that we don't know, okay? And that's called warn them, okay? That's usually first thing to do, all right? And the reason you need to do that is you need to give people it's honestly just kind of like, okay, we cover it. You know it. There you go. Worst case scenario, this is what you do. So have a plan for your family, okay? Have a plan. Don't stay in the area. That's the worst thing you could do. You never want to stay, okay? Because, again, you may not have been affected, but you'll be affected eventually. So get out of Dodge, okay? Get gas and flee. Leave your home, lock it up, and flee. Take the dog, take the cat, and flee, okay? Just flee. Just do that. Very simple, okay? Flee. Remember, not where the wind's going. That's called fallout. You go in the opposite direction, okay? Never to the west, obviously. That makes no sense. Here, we're obviously you don't go towards the beach. If it hit LA, you go away from it, right? So we would go either north, northeastern side, we go east and then up north and or south. Okay, just depends where the wind's going for the first 3 minutes. Okay, you do that, you'll be fine. If you're in New York, you want to get out anyway because everything's going to be bad. All right, transportation there is all public, underground, and right. You don't want to be there in that way. So I say just get out of the area, right? But again, I'm glad this PSA is there. Okay, some people call it whatever. That's a problem, right? Too many people go, no, you're scared out of wood, not fearful. You know what? Be fearful if a snake is in your closet, right? Be fearful. Get out of that area, right? People are like not fear, you know, like almost like I'm not fear. Yeah, too much of those like quotes of fear is this and that. You know what? Fear is paralyzing when you do the dumb thing. Don't be the dumb thing. Be the smart thing, right? Flee. That's all. And then come back later, right? Like a fire. If a fire happens and erupts, who are the dumb ones? The ones that go, no, man, I need to protect my area, right? Dude. And then firemen spend more time trying to get that person rescued when the fire hits their house, right? Dumb. Okay. So don't be that person, okay? That's number one. Number two, coronavirus. Okay, I didn't report on this, and I know a lot of you kind of go, I don't want to hear it, but you need to hear it. Okay, they're now, I told you this is going to be a problem, talking about it, and they're talking about it this way. 5. Are you aware here? We've talked about it a few times. Some people are aware, some people are not. I quizzed a few. They're like, 5? No, we have 3. I go, no, you're not. It's all right. You don't watch the show. So get the word out, okay, people? I know you have a way of doing it, so just do it. It says this, immune evading, this is the headline, 5 now accounts, get this, for 65% of U.S. COVID cases. This is not even the world. 5 accounts for 65% immune evading is what they're calling it, okay? I want to hold you to that. Immune evading. I'm telling you, it's like we live in a movie. It says top U.S. health officials warned yesterday that a surge of COVID cases driven by the highly transmissible variant 5, just call it mutation, it'll help you out. The mutation 5 has arrived, but stressed that the country has the tools. Doesn't you're dumb. Okay, look, they're dumb. 5 is new. Okay, don't believe the hype, people. I know people are gonna whatever. Okay, the vaccines that they have right now are good for 1 and 2, maybe 2, not for 3 or 4. Okay, they've been researching 1 and 2. Anything past 2 is new for the last few months. So I know what's going to happen when the phone comes out. They're going to be like, no, I'm fine. No, it's good for the first 2, not for the next 3. Okay. Now, the problem is there's 7 coming, and there's 8 coming because other ones are reporting that. Anyway, so look, here's what you need to know. Yes, we speak to smart people, okay? They know stuff, and that's why I say, look, pay attention, okay? I don't know why we're not national on this. Okay, so my point is this, all right? What you need to know is when you get the fall edition, which is going to come out, okay? It'll be good against the first 2. Don't get 3, 4, 5, or 6, okay? Just don't. It's not good for that, okay? They're always kind of selling it in a really bad way, like, oh, no, we don't have the tools. What's wrong with you? We don't have any tools for the 5. Now, for 1 and 2-ish, yes, ish, right? But not 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, so it's dumb, but I'm going to read it anyway. It says, like vaccines and antiviral treatments to prevent people from getting seriously ill. Dude, the heading is immune evading 5. That means it evades your immunity. You're not immune. Get it? 65% of the nation. So if you have COVID right now, and I know many do because I've been hit up by a few, find out which one you have. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, get ahead of it. Whatever they prescribe, take it, obviously. But get ahead of it, but not getting it. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, with so many cases happening, remember, this is a slow roll. I talked about this. 3, 4, and 5 takes a while to hit. That's why the death numbers are not up yet. But they will be in the next few weeks with the amount of people that are sick from not just this report, but other reports. Okay, you're going to see death rise with the... Yeah, I hate this, but you're going to probably know at least one person that will die in the next year and a half because of 4, 5, or 6, because it's a slow roll. Okay, it takes a while, anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks to fully say, uh-oh. Okay, so some of you are like, no, I'll be fine, but it stays with you. It's a slow roll. Okay, so because it's a slow roll, how many people do you meet in 3 to 4 weeks? You get it? I know you don't, because they haven't had the science out just yet. But when it comes out, You say, no, I remember. I saw that show. Okay, so just remember that. Okay, because it's a slow roll, here's how you apply that knowledge. You minimize your activities out. Okay, get well, get better, increase whatever you can with whatever comes out. That's number one. Number two, don't get sick with any pox. Okay, these are very transmissible diseases. Okay, pox is as well. When they combine, pox will stay with you even if you get well. And if they combine, and trust me, they will combine. But when they combine, three things will happen. One, coronavirus will become amplified. It'll be known as a new coronavirus, but nobody's going to know it's the way you get pox. That's why in the next few months, and I do hope I'm wrong on this, I hope science is ahead of it, and I hope they get ahead of it really quick. They already are starting to go down that route, and I hope that they get ahead of it. So when the vaccine comes out, if it comes out by February, just remember, we're not there yet. Okay, the vaccine, still take it, but they have a limited supply of that. When they're out of that, they're going to say, shoot, 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 okay? That's when they may or may not, I hope they get the message out there, don't get pox, but they may or may not say, okay, well, but they're still going to focus on at least, according to what we see here, the virus. Coronavirus, 4, 5, and 6 is going to be talked about so much, you're going to forget about OM1 and OM2, okay? You're going to hear 4, 5, and 6, but OM1 and 2 is still around. Delta is still around. Lambda is still around. All these are around, and they're all different. They all hit differently. They're not the same, and they don't hit the same. Some take a little longer. So the best thing to remember is this, okay? This is why I say if you can, and you know you got coronavirus, just ask the center, which version do you have? They'll give you a number, and that number, just say, okay, what is that? And they'll say, oh, that's on 4. Okay, got it, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, because they put it in a database for everybody to know. That's why we now know the information's out. The majority of cases, and they say highly transmissible, and again, I'm going to put this, it evades the immune evading, okay? Meaning, it's so strong, you will get sick. Now, will you get well from it? The answer is yes, but percentage will not long term. Okay, we'll see deaths. Let's put it this way. Let's say you get 1. Okay, that one, if you're gonna die, you're gonna die within the first 30 days. I'm sad that I have to say this, but I have to say this. With 2, probably 38 days, 30 to 34 days, I would say maybe. 3, anywhere from a month to a month and a half. Okay, 4, a month and a half to probably 3 months. Or 2 months, I don't know, it depends. And then 5, anywhere from a month to 3 months. All right. And then let's see. 6, anywhere from about I would say anywhere from 30 to 4 or 5 months. It's a slow roll. And you just diminish. So people are going to say eventually, oh no, it was their time. Or, oh yeah, they were, I don't know what was wrong with them. They're going to say this because at the end of the day, it happened so far from the date that you got it. They're not even going to say long haul COVID. They're just going to say, yeah, So that's why I'm saying right now, that's what I'm going to say. You need to be ahead of it and you need to stay safe. Don't get COVID right now. Just don't, okay? It's the summer months and people are getting very, yay, right? Don't get it, okay? Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease, said, and by the way, this is the one who said at the beginning of the year, oh no, we're going to be fine. I was like, why did you change your tune now? Like, did you and Trump go to lunch or something? Said that 5 substantially evades neutralizing antibodies. Huh? What it basically means is you get, okay, you know how everybody's like, yay, we're going to have antibodies eventually. Yay, vaccines give us that. Yay. No, it knows how to evade neutralizing antibodies. It says, I don't think so. Okay, it's the guy in the room that goes, please, you are gonna be dead. I want that. Right? No, you don't want that guy. Okay, you're like, no, save it for me. All right. Yeah, it says especially people who have been vaccinated or previously infected. That's how bad it is. Okay, he said the current vaccines, of course, still effective. Not with what you just said. They always negate what they say. Pay attention to what they say at the beginning, and then at the end, they negate it. Isn't it weird? It evades, but, I'm like, no, the but, don't pay attention to that. It's the beginning part. Pay attention to that. So there you go. Let's see. What else did they say? Oh wow, they're calling it the age of reinfection. Don't get reinfected. Okay. Dr. Eric Topol, founder of the Scripps Research Translational Institute. Oh man, said this in the LA Times. Good article, by the way. Good newspaper. Good newspaper with articles. BA5, right? They got the little dot there. BA period 5 puts the nail in the coffin of the myth that the virus will evolve into a milder form and fade away. We could easily see more variants. Indeed, a whole new family with more extensive immune evasion and growth advantage in the months ahead. Did you just hear that? It puts the nail in the coffin of the myth that the virus will evolve into a milder form and fade away. In other words, we're stuck with that, man. Oh, man. It says we could easily see more variants. A whole new family with more extensive immune evasion and growth advantage. Now, I'm not going to lie. Scientists go, wow, this is amazing. Look at how it just, wow. I mean, I wouldn't want to get sick with this, but look how it's just so strong against that stuff. Whatever we throw at it, it just knows how to like, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. I'm still here. You can Lysol me and not. You know, it's very strong, okay? Now, they're saying it's going to grow to more things. You get it? We don't have the science yet. I don't know why they keep saying that. Now, I would still do this, still get the vaccine coming, because 1 and 2 is still here, and you don't want to get that, okay? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, here it is. COVID-19 seemed like a one-and-done infection. No, it didn't. You guys are dumb. I've been saying all along, if you get it once, you could get it twice, you can get 3, you could get it 4. It doesn't make you stronger. It just doesn't, because the variants get stronger than you. Yeah, that's the problem. That's why I'd say pandemic and epidemic. Don't believe the endemic. That's dumb. People think, oh, it's going to end. No, it's an epidemic. I don't believe that. I know you're like, no, endemic means something. Yeah, what does it mean? Okay, it says, not anymore do people think anymore. It's a one-and-done infection. The primary culprit of 5, which has a bunch of mutations, they call it bevy mutations, that make it better than any of its predecessors at dodging whatever immune defenses is. We've built up over 2.5 years of infection and vaccination. No, we haven't. It's affecting us anyway. We haven't built up any of that immunity. We haven't. I know people have gotten it once, twice, and 3 times. Okay, you can still get it. I don't understand how people go, oh, once I have it and then I get immune, I'm fine. No, you can still get infected. That's what I say. Don't get infected even once. But people that are affected once, you can still get it. People are like, no, I'm strong, man. They're all different. Okay. It's not like the cold, okay? It's worse. It gets worse every single time, and it hurts your body along the way. People still don't understand it, but put it this way. If I have a healthy liver and I have a healthy heart, let's say one of the viruses that I get hits the liver without me knowing, right? Once the other one hits 3 months later, it hits the heart. Now another one hits again, and it hits both at the same time because they're already weakened, and I haven't addressed it, and now my liver starts bleeding. But I don't know it, because I don't feel it. Anywhere from 3 to 4 months later, I see blood in my stool. And I go, what the heck? Right? Now, I get tested. 3-4 months later, I feel all right, but my liver's failing. Why is my liver failing? I don't even drink. Okay, that's happened lately, and they're starting to come out with the science soon. All right? It'll be made public hopefully soon. But the livers are failing, okay? Whoever pays attention to the liver, right? So when you get a blood test, make sure to get a report of it, okay? Because sometimes things get lost along the way. Make sure you get a report, find out what the numbers are, and find out why the numbers are high. Some people are getting high numbers, especially with, well, let's put it this way. If you look at your numbers of average and you look at high numbers and they circle it and they say, we need to meet with you, meet with them, and then say, okay, what could be causing that? And then throw it out there and let them know which version you got. If you have a record of that, then you should say, could that affect that? And they'll say yes or no. Hopefully. They're getting more science there, okay? Don't believe the hype on the news stuff. I know we're on the news, but some of those people just reiterate what they hear. They don't live in the trenches of it, okay? So, if I can give you any advice on that. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much everything we've ever said. All right. Yeah. No, it's not good, guys. Okay. We got pox, we got the virus, we got all these things all happening at the same time. It's like, what is going on? I know, nuclear. Anyway, all right, that's enough on that. Here's what I could say. Okay, financials. Financials are not adding up, okay? Prices are still high. What happened, right, is no one paying attention. I'm going to throw this out there, okay? Give you a quick little math thing, okay? Paper, all right? Paper, it's only so much, right? Ink, only so much, right? Why are things now 23 cents to print black and white when it was anywhere from, well, that depends on your area, 5, 6, 8 cents in 2018? No, 2019 I wasn't really, paying attention. 2020, yeah. How did it jump from 5 to 8 cents to 20 all of a sudden on ink? I get the paper is too thick, I get that, but did they use that before? You get it? Like, who thought to increase it 4 times that amount in just that few amount of years? Like, did that ever happen? Am I the only one? I threw it at some Staples employees, and they were like, huh, yeah. One's like, no, it's supply, I go, okay. That's what they say about gas. Somehow Biden figured out how to lower it. Okay, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well. Keep the comments coming. Keep thinking. And remember, stay positive. Bye-bye, everyone.